Gee Willikers, it appears that there's trouble in the Twitter realm. I need to activate my Twitter powers. Oh yeah! Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I've activated Twitter mode. Hey, paisanos. Hey, Twitter world. It's me, your boy MattCMG, and I got the avatar beanie on today, which means we've got an avatar video today. And this one's gonna be kind of a little bit different, so I'm just trying something out here. So today we're gonna be doing what I like to call the Avatar Twitter Roundup. I should get like a cowboy hat for this bit. Or some kind of other hat to hide my fucking horrendous hairline. Anyways, basically, the premise of this is just going to be, I'm going to go on Twitter, I'm going to go on the Avatar The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra communities on Twitter, scroll through some of the top posts, see what the discourse is, and just basically give my unfiltered, unscripted thoughts on them. Throw some memes in here and there. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because, one, it's pretty easy to edit. There's not much I have to do editing-wise. Off the cuff, there's not much preparation I have to do. I can just kind of pop these on and do them. So this is going to be your slop-type video. If these do well, I might extend these to other topics. I might just do like a general Twitter roundup type beat, just talking about the Twitter discourse of the day. Maybe I'll do that on the second channel, Matt's Meme Hole, by the way, so go subscribe there now if you want to see epic live streams that are just this, but fucking less edited. But I don't know, maybe this will be a weekly thing, maybe a monthly thing. I don't think I have the time or effort to do weekly, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm just trying something out. The Avatar Twitter Roundup, this is number 1. Maybe there will be a number 2. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it for other topics. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Without further ado, let's get into our our potentially first of many installments of the Avatar Twitter Roundup. Yeehaw! You know what I'm talking about? Type shit. So first post, it's a quote tweet of the Avatar Netflix show. That's a wrap on season 2. The time of Sozin's comet draws near. Season 3 is now in production. So they're just announcing that season 3 is being filmed right now. So this guy quote tweets it saying, "Is anybody still legitimately excited for this show?" No. Listen, I hate to admit it, but like, no, nobody gives a fuck. Like after what the first season was, I don't think anybody really gives much of a shit about season 2, you know? Now, I'm in the minority of people who are probably looking forward to it because 1, I'm a hardcore Avatar fan. I objectively have to be. But 2, I hope that they can learn from the mistakes of the first season, and you know, I hope that they've improved. Because that was one of the biggest problems with season 1 is it tried to fit so much into so little. And with season 2 is probably the best season of Avatar just ever of the cartoon. So trying to make that, do it in live action, you're going to changing a lot of stuff that like was kind of intentional in the original. They're taking a lot of risks doing that, but I'm hopeful that they can improve the writing a little bit after seeing all the criticism. Maybe that's wishful thinking. Maybe I'm just naive. I'm a naive little bitch. Alright, so this person asks, can we all agree that Aang is a better Avatar than Korra, while Korra is a better character than Aang? No. I don't know that I can agree with you on that. Now listen, I'll be the first to tell you, Korra has one of the greatest character arcs of all time. Maybe not of all time. That's a little excessive. I'll be the first to tell you that Korra has a great character arc, right? I feel like this person is trying to compare two things that aren't really comparable. Like Aang being the better Avatar than Korra. Like, okay, you could probably make an argument for that. You could probably make an argument either way, if I'm being completely honest with you, just based on purely the lore of the show. But then we're talking, then we're on top of that, we're also talking like, oh, Korra is also a better written character than Aang. So we're taking something that's within the context of the show, and then comparing that to a meta statement about, you know, character writing and shit. It's like, okay, like I see what you're going for there, but like I don't know if that's quite the vibe. But I don't know if I fully agree with this. I don't really care who is the better or worse Avatar, because that kind of goes against my whole philosophy behind how I view the show. Or just the franchise in general, is there are no avatars that are better or worse than others. I say that I know I've made some statements in the past that are very antithetical to that, but that's pretty much, that is something I mostly agree with. So I feel like that argument is just kind of eh. But the idea of Korra being a better character than Aang, it's like, again, you can make a good you could make an argument for that, but like I feel like again that's trying to compare apples to oranges. Like I feel like Korra and Zuko would be a much better comparison, but even then it's like I don't know why we're playing fucking my character's better than your character games here. Like, why are we doing this? I also hate the phrasing of this. Like, can we all agree? It's like, no, nobody's going to 100% agree with that. Like you're not going to make a blanket statement and just assume everybody's going to agree with you. You know what I mean? The next tweet from that same person goes, I just love Kora Villains. And it's a picture of Amon, the Red Lotus, Unalak, and Mike and Brian. I don't know. I've been noticing this weird thing specifically in the Kora fandom, where when bad things happen to Kora, the Kora stands get viscerally fucking angry at Mike and Brian. It is kind of insane. Like, I'm just gonna take a quick peep at the replies here. It's probably gonna be chaos. The way people don't even know half the shady shit that was pulled on The Legend of Korra. People like to complain about a lot of issues in the story, but few people actually know that Nickelodeon practically went out of their way to cause those issues and fuck over the series. And the creators didn't do anything about it. When Legend of Korra was removed from Nick, Brian didn't do shit. What did you want him to fucking do? What did you want him to do? Walk up to Nickelodeon headquarters and be like, you guys gotta put my shit back on. Put my shit back on now. Like, what you want him to storm the fucking beaches of Normandy? Like, what do you want him to do? Like, listen, they just make the shit. They are not responsible for what streaming services it goes on, all right? I like how this guy just completely missed the joke, too. Like, the one in season 2 didn't make me feel intimidated at all, TBH. This person says, did Bryke really just saw the trend at the time and wanted to be the first one to bring Korra to life, making Kora Asami happen and all that? Or if back in the day they genuinely loved and cared about The Legend of Korra, but they got older and the Incel Mentality got into their minds. What are we saying? What are we talking about? The Incel Mentality. I don't even know what to fucking say to that. That's such an insane sentence. So I think what this person is trying to say is that, like, oh, back in the day, they had good intentions by making Kora Asami, making a female avatar as the main character and all that, right? But you know, over time, they started hating their own work, and now they're quote unquote incels because bad things happened to Korra, you know, during and after the series. Even then, that's still kind of insane. Like, this idea that Mike and Brian don't like Korra because they're killing her off for the new Avatar to happen in, you know, fucking 3 years or something. The idea that they don't like her anymore is crazy. Like, they literally just went on the Braving the Elements podcast just to talk about everything about Korra. They just talked about how much they loved the character, all the work that they're glad that they did, all the stuff they're proud of in the show. What makes you think they hate the character? Like, that doesn't make any sense. This person says, Zahir is the best cartoon villain ever. Better than Death, better than Tai Lung. That ain't it, Chief. I'm sorry to say, that ain't it, Chief. Now listen, I don't know, I'm not gonna give you a definitive answer for who the quote-unquote best cartoon villain is, because that's a very subjective thing at the end of the day. But it sure as hell is not Zahir. Are we ever going to discuss how Aang's new voice actor, Eric Nam, supports Israel? How did they let him voice a victim of genocide? Listen. Okay, listen. I know Avatar is a very inherently political franchise, and you know, we're in a very tumultuous political climate right now. But I really could not give less of a fuck about this. Did you know that the character voicing the genocide victim actually, probably supports Israel? First of all, we're gonna point out how this has zero proof whatsoever that the new voice actor supports Israel. I've seen zero evidence of this. Maybe if we go into the replies, we'll see evidence. But like, so this person says, this is the only thing I found on him about Israel unless there's something else. So apparently, this is the new voice actor for Aang in the upcoming movie.
Hi everyone, following the horrific events on October 7th, I like to post that I believed expressed a position of anti-violence, anti-hate, and was against intolerance. My liking of that post was a reaction to waking up to devastating news as someone who has always been pro-human, pro-peace, and for love and equality for all. After that, I received threats related to my scheduled show in Kuala Lumpur. Out of an abundance of caution for my team and my fans, I made the difficult decision to cancel the show. My heart is broken for the Palestinian and Israel families that have been ripped apart by violence and are facing unimaginable loss. Nothing I say can be enough when there is so much pain and suffering, but I am praying every day that there is peace and safety for everybody soon.
This is the most, like, fucking milquetoast, like, trying to avoid making a stance on the issue entirely, that it's like, it's so inoffensive. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Like, oh, look, this, okay. I don't have time to read all this shit. My thing with this tweet about, you know, Aang's new voice actor, quote unquote, supporting Israel. I don't give a fuck. I do not give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. I do not care. Listen, I don't care what a fucking voice actor's political beliefs are. I don't care if he's a straight up fucking Nazi. If he's doing the job, we hired him to be a voice actor, not to be a fucking political advocate. That being said, free Palestine. Meet the strongest avatar. I'm not reading this power scaling bullshit. I do not care. What the fuck? So this person tweets, the kid showing a picture of Qatara and the PDF file showing Aang, with the implication that Aang is a pedophile. legally speaking, yeah, that's probably statutory, because he is technically 112 years old. And she's like, what, 14? That being said, for all intents and purposes, Aang is still 12. So, and if anything, he's actually younger than her. So how is he the pedophile? This is weird, dude. Society needs to end, I think. Oh, here we go. Here's something kind of interesting. First logo for the animated Avatar: The Last Airbender movie, The Legend of Aang: The Last Airbender. And they have the logo for the movie that's coming up. And then this person quote tweets saying, "This name is such a chop and there is still time to change it. Aang needs to get his grubby hands out of Kora's nachos." Ah! See, I was with you. You had me in the first half, not gonna lie. I was with you up until you said that second sentence. Aang needs to get his grubby hands out of Kora's nachos. So this person is implying that because it's called The Legend of Aang, that it's like, oh, they're ripping off The Legend of Korra. When it's like, no. By that logic, The Legend of Korra is ripping off The Legend of Zelda, because they both have The Legend of in the fucking title. Like, that's ridiculous. The crazy thing is, Korra wasn't even the first show to do this in the Avatar series, because outside of the United States, Avatar: The Last Airbender was actually called Avatar: The Legend of Aang. So it's not even the first time this has been done. Plus, the new name of the franchise is Avatar Legends, so, like, this title makes complete sense. I still think it's a shitty title. I do agree with that. I do agree with the concept that The Legend of Aang: The Last Airbender is a really dumb title. I don't like that. But let's not pretend that this is like they're ripping off Korra. Korra, listen, I say this as one of the biggest Korra fans of all time. Korra fans are fucking crazy. So in response to that tweet from earlier about, you know, Aang being a better Avatar than Korra, this person says, "I disagree. People assume Aang mostly did everything right in comparison, but his failure to address post-war issues, water tribe disparities, non-bender inequalities, complicated Korra's life. This is a common theme for avatars, despite his good intentions, but they exist." So, like, this person kind of gets it. This person seems to get it. They seem to understand the concept of, like, okay, even if one avatar does everything right, there are going to be consequences that are going to carry over to the next avatar, whether they see them or not. Like, this was a big thing in the original show with, you know, Avatar Roku's mistakes carrying over into Aang's life, even some of Kyoshi's mistakes carrying over into Aang's life. And even though they did what they thought was right at the time, they still had negative consequences in the future. And the same it applies to Aang and Korra. Like, Aang did everything that he thought was right, did a lot of good in the world, but those things also had a lot of unintended consequences that he could not have foreseen that ended up affecting Korra. This is a common theme with the entire franchise, and more people need to start seeing it this way. Rare Avatar Twitter W. No powers, just hands, who's winning? I don't fucking care. Oh, here's an interesting take. So this person says, should Gore finally be introduced in the new Avatar series, or should it be kept at a Legend of Korra level? I don't know. I personally think it should be kept at maybe like a Korra level. Like, I know, I'm open to them including blood and shit. Like, if you read the Kyoshi novels, which video possibly coming soon. The Kyoshi novels feature a lot of blood. They have straight up death. They have some brutal fucking deaths in that, actually. There's a lot of blood and gore and shit. Not really gore per se, but there's definitely blood. So I think it depends on the demographic they're going for. Like, if they want to recapture that kind of, like, you know, Avatar: The Last Airbender, you know, kind of kid-friendly vibe, but also can be joined by adults, then, like, yeah, maybe keep the blood and gore out of it. If they want to go for, like, that teenage demographic like they did with Korra, it's like, okay, you could maybe include a little bit, but don't go overboard with it. But if they're going to do, like, if it's going to be, like, a more adult-themed, like, aimed at adults, then it's like, you could maybe go a little harder with it. You maybe, you know, push the limits a little bit. I'm not saying you need to have, like, people getting their heads cut off and, like, fucking, you know, I get hit with a fucking ice shard on my arm and just fucking goes through my arm. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to see, like, fucking brutal shit like that, some fucking Rotten.com fucking live leak shit. But, you know, if they could step it up, I'd be cool with that.
Oh, look, you've been impaled.
This is an interesting take. Okay, this person says, I hope they don't make Qatara loose in the live action like she was in the show. Flirting with Jet, Haru, Zuko, and finally settling with Aang is not what I want to see again. Now, this is a pretty interesting take. For a couple of reasons. Firstly, I just like the idea of calling Qatara loose because she happened to have, like, romantic interest in several different characters across the show. But on the other hand, I think this person is kind of getting what they wanted, because if you watch season 1 of the live action show, they kind of removed almost all the romantic elements, like, completely. Like, Aang and Qatara in the live action show have barely any of the romantic tension that they had in the original. Like, 'cause if you remember, like, episode 1 of the animated show, Aang had fucking eyes for Qatara. He was swooning over her, as they say in the 1950s. He said, "Gee Willikers, what a gal!" and his heart started popping out of his eyes. You know what I mean? In the live action show, that's like not really there at all. They're like pretty platonic in the live action show. So this is an interesting take. I do think they should start planting the seeds for it a little bit in the live action show if they are going to end it the same way that they ended the cartoon. Granted, with how much they've changed it, I could also see them ending things completely differently, not knowing who ends up with who, any of that shit. I could see that happening. I'm also getting the impression that this person is probably a Qatara shipper, because that's apparently a lot larger of a ship than I once thought. So I don't know. I love this one. We gotta normalize calling N-words retarded again. Okay, so this guy says, "I don't like Kora Asami. It makes me cringe. Am I homophobic? I also don't like Makora. Very cringy. Does that make me heterophobic too?" Homophobic? Nah, you're just heterophobic. Staring at my jeans, watching my genitals bulging. That's my motherfucking balls. You better let go of them. They belong in my scrotum. You'll never get hold of them. And this person replies with, "They both just weren't that good. I honestly wish Kora would have found a relationship outside of her friend group. The love triangle was cute for drama in season 1, but they all should have just broke up. But I was low-key here for an on and off again Mako and Asami relationship. To be honest, I think Mako and Asami should have been endgame. That's a little insane. If this show proved anything throughout the first 2 seasons, these two do not work whatsoever." So I don't know, that's a little bit of a wild take. This person replies to that saying, "Shut the fuck up. Is this guy actually for real? Be serious. Mako was a trash boyfriend, but a decent friend. And he was out here playing both girls like he wanted them both. And he's so real for that." W's. W's in the chat, dude. Can we get some W's in the chat? Can we get some hell yeah brothers for Mako in the chat, dude? There's a lot of things you could be said about Mako. There's a lot of criticisms to be made about him. But that motherfucker was pulling baddies, dude. Tell me he wasn't pulling baddies, dude.
She is such a bad bitch, though.
This is some older discourse that I kind of hunted down a little bit on purpose because I think it's an interesting topic. So, somebody was talking, people are having their fucking, debate, like, was this Kora's fault? They have the scene of, losing the connection to the past lives where Unalaq rips Rava out and kills the past avatars. And then this person interpreted it as such. So, trigger warning, assault. I don't need the fucking trigger warning. All right, I'm a grown fucking man. I remember I had an oomph that meant that this scene was a parallel to SA, and how the whole fandom banding together to blame Kora for something she had no control over was similar to IRL reactions to SA cases, especially family SA cases, changed my view of, I'm guessing, this scene forever. Okay, there you go. Now before you go crazy with it, I do think this is a very interesting concept, right? The idea that Kora getting Rava ripped out of her and destroyed by Unalaq, who was her uncle, could be interpreted as an allegory for sexual assault. This has been a pretty contentious topic within the fandom for a while, but I do think there is something to it. Like, I think it's a very valid interpretation. Do I think that's what the writers were intending? Probably not. But it's an interesting interpretation that I think is worthy of consideration. In fact, let's read somebody has a thread about it. This is the first. I don't read Twitter threads usually because I don't have time for that shit. But this is for a video, so we'll fucking do it. So this person has a thread about how can Unalaq and Kora be interpreted as grooming and assault. I'm gonna preface this by saying it's art, and because it's art, there are multiple interpretations. But you not liking one interpretation doesn't invalidate its impact. Just because you don't see it this way, it doesn't mean it's stupid to do so. Based. Another thing is, it's Avatar. Avatar is known for being political and progressive, having 2 genocide victims, toxic abusive families, etc., and Kora doubled down on this by being much more explicit. So it being a kid's show doesn't negate this because it's no stranger to dark themes. So what are the stages of grooming? I'm not reading this. I don't want to fucking read this. Extremely clear power imbalance. This is very common in abusive relationships, as a power imbalance is what allows the abuser to manipulate and hurt the victim. It makes the victim feel powerless and as if they have no control, allowing the abuse to go through. The second stage is feeling a need. This means that looking at a victim's shortcomings and using one's own resources to provide, building a bond. For Unalaq, he used Kora's heritage and position against her. As you should know, Kora being told that she's the Avatar from the age of 4 gave her a complex where she starts to feel that that's all she is. Unalaq used her need to prove herself and the fact that she's from the Water Tribe to make her feel somewhat inadequate against the spirits. And by introducing her to spirit bending, he was in turn filling this need for her, making her associate him with her job and something she needs to be better. This is one of the reasons why Kora blindly trusted him. He knew she had these issues and intentionally used it for his own gain. The next step is to isolate the child. Destroy the child. It's hard to, I'm trying to make this a little bit lighter because it's a darker topic, but destroy the child. They do this by making the child feel as if I can't do that. They do this by making the child feel as if no one except the abuser can understand them. We see this throughout the season, specifically with Tenzin. We see Unalaq say that Tenzin can't provide what Kora needs, wedging them apart. We see how this affects Kora and Mako too. We see how he uses politics to estrange Kora from her family. He uses multiple different things throughout the season to make it so he's the closest to Kora at any given time. It's always a point to make people against Kora. Why didn't she listen to Tenzin? Because Unalaq manipulated her. Once the isolation is complete, the abuser just needs to maintain control over the victim. When you put all this into context and also take into account how the scene where Rava is ripped out was portrayed as being uncomfortable, gross, and violating, it isn't a stretch to have this interpretation. Kora had all autonomy taken away from her in that scene, and she has no control whatsoever. And ultimately, that's what sexual assault does. It's a way to have control. Telling people this interpretation is too far is a bit stupid considering how Avatar as a franchise is known for its darker themes and how we have seen multiple cases of familial abuse in the franchise. You don't have to interpret it that way, but ultimately dismissing this train of thought because it's too far or a bit extreme makes sexual assault as a topic feel as if something that shouldn't be discussed when it's something that absolutely needs to be talked about, not only for awareness, but also in solidarity of victims. So honestly, this is a pretty convincing thread, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know that I fully agree that this was the intention behind the scene, but I can absolutely see an argument for it. So, props to this person for their thread. Very interesting thread, very interesting read if you're into the Legend of Korra. And with that, let's end on the rape note. So on the rape note, that's it for this video. That has been our first installment of Avatar Twitter Roundup. If you guys want to see more of this kind of if there's more of this kind of style, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Like the video. If you want to see this relegated to just Avatar, or if you want to see me expand this to other topics like just general like maybe YouTube drama or like other shows or whatever, let me know in the comments below if you want to see more of this format. It'd be a good way to keep more consistent content coming out when I'm working on multi-hour Walking Dead videos, or shit that requires brain power to write that I don't have time for. But this is just an idea. It's just a little concept. I don't know. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If you like the video, comment down below what you think of some of these hot takes. What do you think of the format? Let me I want to hear all them thoughts down below, baby. All them thoughts. Give me all them thoughts and all them thoughts down below. Bring forth the thoughts. Thought Patrol. Woo! But that's going to be it for me. Like the video if you liked it. Hit the sub if you want to see more. Hit the page if you want to support the channel. I've been MattCMG, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
I'm completely calm!
To master the elements, you must be strong like earth, peaceful like air, honorable like water, and fierce like fire. The time to master your skills is now. Avatar toys are now at Burger King. You can collect all 8 Avatar toys, each one.
Let's get some pussy tonight.